Eric, how are you, man?
I'm good, Bobby. How you doing, bud?
Hey, doing pretty good. Yeah, I was thinking about you. I know when you make music, at least the last time, you guys went to, I believe, North Carolina, and you got in a house, you lived
Hmm.
there, you wrote, you recorded. So for you, when you're creating, is it like we're gonna go all in and do it all now, and then the rest of my life I'm gonna not do it, or do you still write songs in between?
I still write some in between, but I think a lot of it is I store it up, and I try to put myself in a creative place and get it all out of me, write a bunch of songs, and then from that period to the next time I write, I'm pretty quiet. I don't do a lot of writing. But you know how it goes. I mean, songs find you, So I'll dabble. I'll put stuff in my phone, and then I'll try to find that next spot where I just empty it again. So it's kind of this cycle for me that kind of over a 2 year period. I'll kind of exercise.
As someone who creates a lot of different things, especially music, do you ever write a song and is your process ever to not listen to it so you can get away from it to then listen freshly to see if you like it? Or will you just know right then?
I mean, I'll know. I think that the point of creation, especially like you get that goosebump, that feeling of hey, this is a good one. Or when you've written thousands of songs, there's those few that pop out. I think that's what we were trying to create when we made the Heart and Soul. I mean, at least for me, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to write a song that morning and record it that night, so that you didn't have any lag time. Normally, when you write a song, you hang on to it for a couple of months. You play it for a producer. You play it for these people. Then you go in the studio. So by the time you record it, a lot of the magic's been knocked off of it. And that moment of creation, that birth of a song, is the most magical thing in music.
Oh,
And if you can carry anything, if you can capture that and carry it, so it's always that moment. To answer your question in a long way, that in that moment if you got something.
and again, pardon my ignorance for sitting on this for a second. So, but if I write a joke or, I've written books and I will be in it so long that while I'm writing it, I lose. Is this even funny anymore? Is this because I'm living in it? Does that ever happen as a
Yeah.
songwriter where you're writing this song and you're like, man, I thought it was great, but I've just been
Yeah.
grinding it out that I can't really feel anymore if I know?
Yeah, 100%. But it's I think that first time that you kind of there's a reason you stayed in the joke, you stayed with it, or you stayed with what you were writing. I think instinctively, or at least in my history, that feeling you get. I call it like goosebumps or chicken skin. When you feel that feeling, there's a reason you felt that feeling. So that's normally when I trust my gut, it's on that stuff. But yeah, I mean after you hammer on it for hours and you whittle it down, it can sometimes feel like is this thing still good? But yeah, I just always try to trust that first thing.
Eric Church is on with us. We're celebrating Heart on Fire, going to be number one this week. You wrote that song by yourself. Is that
Hmm.
harder to go, this is a great song, if you wrote it by yourself because it's all you, or is it easier?
It just depends on for me, I'll always normally when I co-write, I start all the songs myself. That's where I'm best. Is I'll have a verse or I have a chorus or I'll have kind of a thing kind of outlined in, and then I'll go to a co-writer to say, hey, help me here, help me color this out, and is this what I think it is? What's another angle? But with Heart on Fire, it just kind of kept, it just kept going. And all of a sudden, instead of stopping and taking it to a co-writer, I just kept writing. And it was critical to this project because what we were doing was so wacky and so uncomfortable to people. This was the first one we recorded. And I needed kind of a proof of concept, for the band and the guys that hey, what we're doing up here in the mountains for 6 weeks is going to be cool. It's going to be worth it. So, this was the reason, in my opinion, the whole project worked, was this song.
So many people look up to you and they shout you out constantly when it comes to songwriting. I was with Thomas Rhett recently. He did that. But I wonder, are you able, and you talk about being able to kind of shut it down sometimes, like at home in the house with your family. Are you the musical dad or are you the dad that just does music? And there's a difference. Which one would you say you are?
I'm the dad that just does music. Yeah, I don't. My household is really not centered around me at all, which is good. I mean, it's really around the kids. I got 2 boys, 10 and 7, and they run the household. So I'm just the dad that happens to go out on the weekend and play shows and stuff. They're starting to get to where they know it a little bit, especially my 10-year-old. He knows some of the songs or kind of gets what I do. I'm not sure that my 7-year-old just doesn't think everybody in the world makes music for a living. That's what they do. He just doesn't know there's any other occupation out there.
So do you, follow me here? Church music for kids. You do a kids record? Can you imagine? Come on.
Have you heard my music, Bobby?
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying you go into a whole different world. Church music for kids. This is it. You can find. Yeah. Oh man, I think you got it.
Funny story. One time I was on my first promo tour promoting Sinners Like Me, which anybody's ever heard that album. It's a pretty adult album. And one of the things, I was at a radio station in Texas, and they took me to a kid's birthday party. And I had to play, and it ended up being balloons and all this stuff. And the kids, it's a true story. And the kids sit down in front of me, and all I had was a Sinners Like Me album. So that's a frightening situation, when you're looking at 4-year-olds.
Well, listen, I still think it's an idea. Maybe we suss it out some other time. But super pumped you're on the show. Congratulations. Congratulations on the Tar Heels. I'm from Arkansas. I was really hoping we'd get to play you guys. But you know what? To be able to have I'm just so jealous of anybody that wins. I'm gonna be honest with you, Eric. I just want to win. And you're a blue blood and you're used to winning a little bit, but still, that's got to be great to have like your people win it again. It was, and again, it was the Duke. It's Duke. I mean, for that was a national championship, for us. And if you guys had beaten Duke, I would have made a San Antonio show. You know what's funny is I consider, because North Carolina lost, I think they won the national championship because they won that game. That's what's crazy in my head right now. See, it didn't matter. That's the thing. That's at least as a Tar Heel fan. I mean, once they beat Duke, it was everything else was skating. That was the one. That was the thing that, game of a lifetime for me. So it was fun to be there. I had my boys there. My dad was with me. He's still alive. So we all went and had one hell of a night. I have a friend a couple friends that you were with and that ran into you that night, and they sent a picture of Jim Nantz hanging out, and I was like, yeah, that's a cool. Eric Church and Jim Nantz together at the same time. Did you get a chance to talk to Jim at all? Yeah, I play golf with Jim. Oh, okay, flex. Okay, you could have just said yes. You didn't have to keep going. Yeah, no, Jim was great. We had us over for like a little. They had a little victory after party thing. CBS guys did. And Bill Raftery and Grant Hill and all the guys were there that called the game. And I took the kids. It was funny. I'm the dad that 1 a.m. or after the thing in New Orleans, I take my kids to the bar that they're having the after party at to hang out with Jim Nantz. So it was a lot of fun. Well, listen, super pumped to talk to you. Hope you're good. Just love what you do. In all the ways. I think music, as a dad, as a person, I think you got a good thing going. And good luck. You don't need it, but congratulations on another #1 song, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Bobby. Thanks for having me. There he is, Eric Church. Do you know what's crazy? That in my head, I consider North Carolina the national champions.
Yeah, I was wondering why you kept
even though
saying
I know.
Yeah.
It's correct. That is correct.
It was such a big
you said
game.
it, and I believed it.
No, I know.
I was
and
like,
I
okay.
watched both Final Four games and the national championship
Yes.
game, and I, in my mind, have North Carolina the national champion.
It was such a big game.
It was such a big game.
Yeah, I understand why you did that. But
I'm sorry to Kansas fans.
I was like, what are you talking about?
That's
because you said won it all.
Yeah.
That's the.
I thought it in my head. I was like, you won it all. But first of all, sorry to Kansas fans.
Yeah.
But I realized and Eric had to be like, what are you talking about? But in my mind, because of that, and because of the hubbub about him not doing that show,
Right.
and also didn't ask him about it.
Did you hear what he said about Arkansas? If it would have been North Carolina, Arkansas, he would have had
done the
that San Antonio show.
Yes,
that's funny.
correct.
Yeah, because it wouldn't have been as big of a game.
Right.
All right, Eric Church, good to talk to you.
It's about